They talk about the tension in the Davis Cup. They discuss the rivalry in the Ryder Cup. But when it comes to intensity, few international events match the sheer pressure of the Mosconi Cup. It's the USA versus Europe at American 9-ball pool. It went the distance, 5-4 Jones. The US again a point ahead, also 5-4 as we go into day 3. Remember, each match is a race to 5, win 5 racks and you win a point. 12 points are needed to clinch the 1999 acclaimed Mosconi Cup. A huge Dutch following over to see Alex Lely as we join John McDonnell.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and welcome to the York Hall Bethnal Green. Barry Hearn for Matchroom Sport proudly presents the 1999 acclaimed Mosconi Cup. Sponsored here by Acclaim Entertainment and sanctioned by the World Pool Association. And a very warm welcome to our viewers joining us live here on Sky Sports. You've joined us for the very best in 9-ball action. We're into the doubles and the score is USA lead 4 games to 3. It's all a race to 5. Would you please welcome, representing the USA team captain, 11 times champion. Germany's finest, both former world champions. Please welcome.
I have never seen a warmer reception for day 3 of the Mosconi Cup, and I'll tell you what, Steve, I am amazed at the way this crowd has got behind both the Europeans and the Americans. Now, in the last couple of days, the Americans haven't had the support, but I noticed in the Players' Lounge today, the Americans had the Army, some of the lads that are over here from the American Army, brought them a cake, and they're here in the audience to give them support as well.
Yes, it's a fantastic atmosphere, and a lot of the banter between the two sets of supporters is great in between the frames, and a very friendly banter as well. There's a great atmosphere out there, and everybody's just enjoying themselves. It's like a sort of holiday atmosphere, but this Mosconi Cup has really captured the imagination of cue ball sports fans around the world.
Ralph Souquet definitely loves to get the crowd on his side. He did it in the singles, and it looks as though when he came out there, he's going to do it in the doubles as well.
Yes.
This lag's so important. It looks good.
It can be very important. I think the Americans have won it here. Yes, they have. Very important. It obviously means the difference at the end if the scores are 4-4. But the team that lags the best in the first part of the game get that last break. And they also get the chance to get off the mark first, because the break is a very important part of this game of 9-ball. You're more or less guaranteed to get a ball in. It's just how the ball's split afterwards. And Kim Davonport's been breaking very well so far in this tournament.
Interesting you mentioned that. I had a chat with Johnny Archer before he came on, and I said, what if there is a weak link, what is it? Well, he's got a 9-ball, that's it, fantastic. Straight from the break. I was just about to say, what is the weak link? The Americans have such a strong break, and they've just proved it.
They do. That was what would be considered an unconventional 9. He got a very lucky kiss there. The 9 usually goes into one of the corner pockets, but they got a 2-ball combination kiss there, and I hope that's not a taste of things to come for the rest of the day. But that's how quick 9-ball can be. Any chance you get to make the 9 ball, as long as you hit the lowest ball on the table, which was of course the 1 ball at the apex of that diamond shape there. As long as you hit the 1 ball or the lowest ball that is currently on the table, if you can make the 9 ball, you win the game. It's that quick. There's a lot of luck attached, but there's also a lot of beautiful, clever shots played as well. And you decide when you try for that 9 ball. Sometimes you just run the rack. Now Oliver or Ralph have got the chance to do exactly the same. But every time you smash those balls up, they always split differently. Ralph, of course, is a marvellous break-off player as well, and it's a big part of the game, and it's something that the players concentrate a lot on. This time the 9 ball doesn't move. It didn't get a kiss off the other balls, so now Ralph's going to have to try and go the conventional route.
He's got a good spread there, though.
Yes, what you don't want are balls touching each other on a cushion. The balls are open, and given that this is the first rack of the day for Ralph, that's the only problem I would see, that he's not in stroke, so to speak. But the lads have been in the practice room for the last hour, knocking frame after frame in, rack after rack. You would hope very much for Ralph that he does make this pretty easy clearance for a 9-ball pool player and convert it. He'd play the 3 ball and come out into the middle of the table. Always try and make the white ball come out into the middle of the table. You don't have to get as straight on the pots as you would do on a snooker table. You leave yourself an angle. The pots themselves are not that difficult. It's the positional play and making sure you're not snookered on the next ball. So Ralph comes across the table, a little bit underpaced, but on a snooker table you go, this is a difficult pot. But that's not so difficult. He then can cut the 4 ball in and come across for that orange 5.
The pink perhaps the most difficult at the moment.
Well, it looks difficult, but it's not a particularly difficult shot. It's the positional side of the game that's the hardest. So he's played that short to leave himself just a natural angle to come across the table for the 5 pink, for the 5 orange. The only way you can mess up a game of 9-ball pool is if your white ball goes astray and you snooker yourself behind one of the other balls on the table. Otherwise, you've always got options. So that is the most important part. Once again, I think we'll probably see Ralph knocking this 5 in off the top cushion and perhaps coming up for the green 6, possibly in the same pocket, or he may stun off 2 cushions for the green 6 into the middle pocket.
And it's interesting, the contrast. They're flying right now. Yesterday, Souquet against Strickland, that was like a game of chess.
Yes, and it's all dependent upon how the ball's open. Sometimes you get games where the balls go, they stick together, and then there's a problem, and there's a bit of safety play involved. But something like this should be plain sailing, but if you do miss a shot like this, or miss an opportunity like this, it's like in a gunslinging match. You've got the first chance with your bullet. If you miss, the other guy's certain to get you. Good reply here from Ralph. Solid as a rock, as usual. I always have great faith in Ralph Souquet. He never makes a silly error.
Well, Ralph Souquet, the most experienced player perhaps in the Mosconi history. He's got the best record of the Europeans, and he's proving it once again, levelling the scores after that extremely fast start by Davonport, who got the 9 straight off the opening rack. Well, my thanks to Steve Davis, who'll be in action very shortly. I know he's just going to compose himself, so I'll let him get away to do that as we join our commentary team now, Jim Weish and Sid Waddell.
Thanks, Johnny. Well, there are a lot of paper stuff about us having a Euro army, 50,000 guys. Well, Steve Davis's Orange Army here prematurely.
Right. USA to break.
And the Americans, as John and Steve also picked out, have got some really excellent fans here as well, as Jim tries to launch this break productively. Wing ball went nicely. Oh, that is a very nice break, Jim.
Yes, it is, but he hasn't finished ideally on the 2. Pocketed the 1 off the break. Nothing easy on the blue 2. But again, the style exhibited by Rempe here kept that cue ball in the middle of the table. That's one of the objectives. But what a huge match this is already in day 3, just like the first match in day 2, with Ortmann and Souquet coming out carrying the European flag to try and build up some momentum here.
Yes, the 2 European lads, both former world champions, both not in awe of the opposition, Jim.
No, and Jim Rempe didn't play a very good safety there either. He's left Oliver a chance here to reply and really bury Kim Davonport. You can see this 2 full ball there, you can see it. And I'd be very surprised if Davonport's going to be able to see the ball when he comes to the table. He's got a wall of balls to try and hide that cue ball behind here, bottom half.
So is he going to send the blue around, Jim? Leave the cue ball adjacent to the pink.
Well, that's a mistake from Ortmann. That's a very bad shot from Oliver. I thought he'd try and screw that white straight back to the cushion, using the 8, 9, and 6 as a wall to try and hide the cue ball behind and just bank the 2 dead on. The way he's played it, he's left only 1 ball to try and hide it behind. And Davonport, in his first visit, potted the 9 off the break, so he really doesn't have a feel for the table. But he's going to get a chance right now. Oh, a little break there for Team Europe, just nudging the 3 and taking the Americans out of position here.
That's one of the things about doubles play. You can be in the chair for longer than you'd care.
Well, I think Kim will play a 2-way shot here. If he does elect to try and bank this cross corner, try and bank it into the corner bottom right here as we look, he can take that cue ball off the cushion and down into the safety zone, back into this area. Oh, great shot. Well, he played that full-blooded. Dead on the line, but played it very confidently. Obviously, these Americans, as we've noted in the first 2 days, very aggressive. And what a shot this was. Never looked out.
Yeah, just did it a less than half ball. Perfectly to the heart of the pocket. You've got to get the banks dead on here. There's no second chance like you can get at 8-ball English, where the angle goes in and out twice. You don't get it dead right first, it straightens. He's got a very thin tickle. Bottom left. Went into the knuckle early, but it didn't matter.
Unless you're judging the cannon too to stay on the 6, you'll just want to come over the left-hand side of the table off this 6, because that'll clear the spot for a nice path through to the 8.
And if you need reminding of the drama, Europe started yesterday 3-0 down. And they did not clatter back in the afternoon session to 3-3. It's now 5-4 overall.
Well, you really have to be impressed at the way Kim Davonport has held up his end of the bargain here for the Americans. He has played, for my money, the most solid of all the Americans so far. We're only halfway through this, but he's doing his part.
And one would agree with Steve Davis that Strickland, the mercurial brilliant Strickland, is the underperformer at the moment for the Americans, but we all know how Earl can kick into form any time. This for 2-1.
In the bank now, Sid. 2-1 to the Americans early here. Day 3 of the Mosconi Cup. The Americans lead 5-4 overall, and it's down to the Europeans to try and claw back into this one. All to play for here.
This Sunday, you're invited to join our live TV audience at Sydney.
The 1999 Mosconi Cup, and the guile of the European captain Steve Davis came to the forefront yesterday with dividends when he shook up the lineup and brought the Europeans back into this one. Today, day 3, it's the Americans' turn to shake up the lineup.
Do you think their new lineup's an improvement on the old, Jim?
Can't do any worse from yesterday, Sid. But Oliver and Ralph, 2 former world champions, 2 foundation players that the Europeans count on heavily here.
what a thunderous break. Absolute perfection, that one, including lovely control of the white in the middle of the table.
Well, every time the Americans set out, the Europeans respond in kind. Another dynamic break-off from Oliver Ortmann here, and no hurdles whatsoever to get over. This looks like plain sailing for him.
He's got his choice of where to put the red after he flicks blue 2 in, coming in with lots of bottom. Just move back, same pocket.
Just wants to maintain an angle. The orange 5 will be next.
If you're new to the game, break. If anything goes down, you're in play. You have to then proceed to the low ball. You then proceed, if you like, to the 9 via the ascending numbers. But if you can see a plant or a cannon involving the 9 at any time, you can put that together because you've won the rack. Again, we've just seen earlier with one of Kim Davonport's shots how the ball does not actually need to be put into the rail. If you just maintained a steady line on this 6, it would take the pocket. Well, it's one aspect that snooker players have failed to understand quite often about this game, is that you do not need either perfect position or to go into the heart of the pocket.
And yes, very much like big match tennis here. So far, these players and teams are on break. Whichever team is broken has cleared up and gotten out, secured the victory. And that trend's continuing. The simple 9 to level the score at 2 apiece. Confirmation, and Oliver Ortmann and Ralph Souquet have pulled back on level terms with the Americans. It's a race to 5, and there's a familiar face, Sid.
That's Fabio Petroni, the weeping Madonna himself. Last year gets overcome by the occasion. There were floods of tears. We had to get buckets out and towels. Different story today. He didn't make the team, but he's an A1 supporter.
He's waving the European flag, no doubt about that.
I like the suit as well, Jim.
Another look at the break-off. What a formidable weapon this is in this game of 9-ball. Both teams demonstrating that aspect. And now Kim Davonport, well, we know what he did in his last break-off to open accounts here. Potted the 9.
Can't overstress the importance of the break. It is a fantastic combination of hand-eye coordination and muscle memory. It's a bit like pole vaulting. Total coordination, and that's the kind of result you want.
Well, once again, a good break-off from Davonport. These guys really have the measure of this table today on all fronts.
But we did see them fencing, as it were, Jim, on the first 2 hours of play on Thursday. Nobody exactly sure what weight to put into the break or which of the balls would go, particularly the wing balls on the edges of the diamond. Blue 2, snidged into the middle.
Well, he's traveled a bit too far there, Sid. He's right over top the 8, it looks like. He's overhit that by about, well, 1 to 2 feet. And he can't believe it. Now, all of a sudden, it's tough. What could have been easy, you know, these players here in this very hallowed hall, reminiscent of some great boxing matches. Right now, they're standing toe-to-toe and exchanging punches.
Yeah, they've all been here from the days of Tommy Farr, Randy Turpin, Bruce Woodcock, the great Freddie Mills, have cast blood, sweat, and faced the jeers. And the cheers in the York Hall. Different kind of counter-punching today, Jim.
What a shot from Davonport there. Tremendous recovery. Not willing to relinquish a break of service here, that's for sure, Sid. Look at that. Both balls vaulting.
Old rule, my dad told me playing snooker. Only use power and pace when you have to. He had to, and every centimetre of it was controlled. He has been, for my money anyway, Jim, a star yank, this guy.
Well, you've got About 75 years of experience out there between these two players.
Jim, the American captain, sitting in the seat watching Kim at work, has got over 90 major titles. And this lad, an absolute thoroughbred.
Just got to miss the 9. That accomplished. The finish line in sight.
Nothing much to do. Maybe just snidge it into the cush. The position on the 9. There's the snidge, and there's the perfect straight line. 4, 3, 2 to Uncle Sam's lads.
And which of these teams is going to break first? They really are firing rockets right now. Kim Davonport and Jim Rempe breaking out on every one of their visits, and so too have the Europeans done the same.
The American pair went on to increase their lead to 4-2, and that means they're just one rack away from victory and another point for the USA.
Not giving it too much pasty or Humpty, going in nice and steady.
Well, nothing off the break, but the cue ball's finished in behind the 3. I think Rempe just hit that one a little too hard. Been very noticeable. A lot of these players have been taking a lot off the break shot, really trying to count on knocking in that wing ball. And if you overhit it, that wing ball hasn't been going in.
The break, very important part of the game. Bustamante has been timed at 43 mile an hour. When we had a speed gun on this, there were guys hitting it up to 27 mile an hour about 4 years ago. But as Jim suggests, power and speed not always necessary. You've got to work out the exact weight of the brake.
Exactly, Sid. And right now, off the break off, what Oliver Ortmann's considering is the push-out. You can see where he's holding his cue. He's just looking to roll the cue ball into that area so as not to leave a shot on for Kim Davonport, the incoming American. The push-out's a bit of a gambling shot where you feel like you might have an answer should the player put you in again, and you're betting that he doesn't. And again, that looks to be the area that he's just trying to convince himself is the right spot to roll the white to.
Yeah. This game developed from straight pool for gamblers. Actually, it's got to be admitted. 9 ball, $5 on the 9 ball, $2 on the 5 ball. But the players extra keen now to stress it's sport enthusiastically the fastest growing billiard sport in the world, taking up particularly in the Pacific Rim. Is this exactly the area suggested, Jim?
Well, that's where he was holding his cue. He just had to ensure to get far enough to not leave the fine cut into the middle pocket. And Davonport's going to have a real good look at this. Now, if he doesn't take this on, if it's gone far enough where it doesn't look like he can cut it in, I've got a feeling he might put Oliver back in again. Because the safety shot's not easy here either.
Yeah, there's not what you'd call a wall or even a thicket down the right-hand end to hide the cue ball. I can't tell from any of our angles what he's after. He wasn't after the thin tickle in.
What a good shot from Davonport. That had to be played.
Absolutely, because there was no wall anywhere.
Nowhere. That had to be played with precise weight control. And didn't he do well? I mean, that shot just looked far too risky from where I'm sat for him to take on. But obviously, again, an indication of how confident the Americans are feeling.
Well, he has been not only the most elegant of the Americans, groomed like a like a congressman.
I was waiting for that one to come out, Sid. They really are pumped right now, these Americans, and I mean, very reminiscent of the Americans the last day, the last couple days of every Mosconi Cup. They really come out to try and wrest it away from the Europeans. They're on foreign soil, and it's always one they have to take away from the home crowd and the home team.
But unlike what happened in the States, I think the crowd are in much better humour. As Steve Davis said, the banter between the orange kids and the Americans, the servicemen, is very gentle.
Well, this is a tough hit. Ralph obviously looking at the long cushion here, but it isn't so much the contact. Looks like he's going to be going 2 cushions, so he wants to hit just below the middle pocket. Right there, but just clipped the green 6.
Could be curtains for Europe then.
Well,
This rack.
Well, that was tough. Again, that's just, you know, Davonport played such a good shot there that he just left the Europeans with too much to do.
Well, talking about elegance, Kim's setting the tone, and gentleman Jim here, Charles II look-alike. Didn't spend much time up oak trees though. Here he is, and he should clean up here. Jim?
Well, there's all the pressure of putting a point on your side, and it's a 9-ball out. Nothing being made off the break, so again, this is all about sound fundamentals and controlling one's nerve.
Not to mention muscle memory and precision. Thin tickle through the orange and black. Play with a bit of right hand side.
And Rempe with the benefit of having a pretty long visit when he was at the table in the last one. So he's got a pretty good feel. He's had that Q arm going a little bit now. And at 4-2, they are in somewhat of a comfort zone, knowing that even should they lose this rack, they will be breaking.
And what do you think was the logic in this pairing, to change this pairing? Jim, what's Jim's logic in playing with Kim here?
Experience. I mean, they're the most experienced team the Americans can put out. I think they knew that Ortmann and Souquet were going to be heading things off again for the Europeans here. So they wanted to try and counter it with the 2 most experienced players the American side has.
Yeah, Jim with over 90 major titles and an illustrious career.
I'm honestly, Sid, I'm just not sure I fancy him for this. I've just got a funny feeling this, you know, a lot of wavering in that back arm. This is the big shot right here. If he slots this green 6 bottom left, the writing's on the wall.
I'm not sure I agree about him being worried. I've seen him, particularly in matches in Poland. I've seen him miss straight ones. Seems to have more trouble, easier shots than this, Jim. Into the cushion early, but beautifully weighted. Into the cushion and over for the brown 7, bottom right. Again, early into the knuckle.
He's laboring, but the job is getting done.
Well, in this country we've got new labour. Here we have old labour. Former Jim. Looking to go into the cush and come about another 2 feet.
His partner was clapping. He's happy with the result here. He's on his feet as Kim Davonport.
Kim Davonport's packing his gear. Thinks it's over.
He just sat down again, Sid. Big shot, this one.
See the tension. Got the wobbles and the wrist. Wow, has he ever? Whoa! Wobbly! But in the heart of the pocket! The captain does a captain's job! Europe in trouble! Trail 6-4!
Welcome back to the 1999 acclaimed Mosconi Cup. The USA moving into a 6-4 lead in the race to 12 points. This the next doubles. Steve Knight and Mika Immonan of Europe against Mike Coltrain and this man Jeremy Jones of the USA. The Americans 4-1 up as we join Jonathan Green.
So it's Jeremy Jones here, just needing this one rack to restore the 3-point lead that the United States had at the end of the first day. One ball down off of the break. So the yellow one going straight into the centre bag.
Yes, he's having a good look here as Michael Coltrain looks on. Michael's hoping the only time he comes out of his chair here is to be congratulating his partner and shaking the hands of the European side.
Looking at a combination here, Jeremy taking the yellow one either onto the pink 4 or if it passes by the pink 4 straight into the pocket. Just managing to squeeze in there, but the 4 that he contacted into has come up and left himself slightly hampered. Going to the blue 2. A little bit of pull still left in this rack. Jeremy just checking to see the path of the blue 2 if it passes the green 6. First to 12 matches wins the Mosconi Cup. America currently leading by 6 points to 4. And in the 11th point, it's Team USA who are 4 racks to 1 up. Looks like Jeremy can just see enough of this blue 2. Well, he's hit too much of it there, overcut. And I think he's got away with it. He's left Mika Immonan hampered. The pink 4 is in the way to the blue 2. There you can see.
Well, if nothing else, you can see he's human, Jonathan.
Mika just seeing where he wants to contact the 2, whether he can bend around the pink 4. That's what he's doing, a little bit of masse here, Mika. Just enough and a great shot there. And he's got a result as well, he's got a shot on the pink 4. Superbly massing around the pink 4, just catching enough of the blue 2. Hanging on by a thread here in this 11th match. Team Europe already 4 racks to 1 down. Jeremy Jones broke this rack. That would have put him in a very strong position and favourite to run out from there. But a mistake, and it's Mika Immonan going to the table. Only trouble he's got in this rack will be getting from the brown 7 to the black 8. So he's just looking now, just taking some time out to figure out exactly where he wants to leave the cue ball position-wise on the brown 7 to get in behind and leave himself a shot on the black 8. Essential for Europe that they get this match. Mika Immonan at the table, just these 3 balls to pull it back to 4 racks to 2. Need 5 racks to take the point. Well, that was the shot he needed to come around. He didn't want the contact with the 9, but I think he's looking there, he's smiling, he's had a little bit of fortune coming into the 9, but he's come out all right. He can see the black 8.
Yes, a bit of a result for Mika there, to be sure, Jonathan. That wasn't intended, but gratefully accepted.
So that's Mika Immonan. Pulls one back for Team Europe. 4 racks to 2 they trail. The race to 5. Number of mistakes seesawing this match. Jan Verhaas just setting up the balls here for the next rack. Team Europe to break, Mika Immonan coming on. He'll have confidence from that last rack. It was a tough clearance, he came in. Had to masse around the 4 with his first shot.
7th rack.
Get the blue 2 down, so should be full of confidence now, Mika coming to the table. Still trailing by 2 racks. Of course, Team USA still needing just that 1 more rack to re-establish their 3-match lead. Mika Immonan powering up for a big break. It's a nice break. He's got a couple of balls down. Left us the cue ball very close to the 1. There you can see he's got a shot on the 1 to play it all the way up to the top right-hand bag. Bring the white off the cushion into the centre of the table for the blue 2. So a good chance here for Mika. Nicely out, and this is the sort of break that you want. This is the sort of table you'd like to come to the table to see after a break. No 2 balls close to each other, no 2 balls blocking each other, and a great chance to pull it back to 4-3. It will of course be Team USA up to break in the next rack. There are alternate breaks in this tournament. Michael Coltrain will be up to break the next rack, as long as Mika can hold out here, which I'm sure he will. Taking the green 6 into the top left-hand bag, he'll bring the white, just checking to see exactly where he wants to leave the cue ball. For position on the brown 7 next. And what a result this would be if Europe could bring back this match. That would give the whole team immense confidence for the rest of the tournament.
Yes, a comeback like this can really lift the whole team and carry them on your shoulders. But as you said, Jonathan, they've got to go against 2 American breaks. Even pulling back to 4-3, they know the Americans would be breaking at 4-3.
The Americans would have the break in the next one, but if Europe could steal that, it would be them who would have the break in the final rack. Mika won the lag at the beginning of this match. It's been so important already in this tournament. A great clearance there from Mika Immonan. Bringing it back 4 racks to 3.
The next rack will really be decisive. If they can go against the break here, Team Europe, and secure victory and force a decider, what a result. From 3-0 and 4-1 down. Immonan and Knight having a little discussion. They look very comfortable. Another look at the break-off from Immonan. Just what you want to see.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, the 8th rack. The USA to break.
But either way, the fight back has certainly given heart to the 2 in their chair and the rest of the European supporters in the crowd.
Well, it's a decent break there from Mike. He's got a couple of balls down, but not an easy shot on the yellow 1 here. It's got a difficult cut into the centre bag here.
Yes, Michael Coltrain. We saw him miss a very bad 2 ball earlier in this match when The USA had a chance to steamroll Team Europe. Looking at a bank shot here on the one. But the pressure really on the youngster, the baby of the American side. Big shot there, and it looks like he's finished on the 2. But the problem still, the 2 to the 4, the pink 4 on the cushion near the 8. He may have to just play himself a bank on that one, John.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's looking at, Jim, playing the 2 off into the top right-hand bag, leaving himself the bank on the 4, the shot after.
Just try and roll through to this area, so is leaving a bank on that pink 4 into the opposite center. That's in an ideal scenario anyway. That looks like to be the only one on for him.
Well, he obviously didn't fancy the attacking option there. Tried to play the safe, and I'm not sure that he's made it.
I'm not so sure I agree with the shot selection there, because the 2 was on. He could have left himself exactly where he wanted to attack the bank shot. He wouldn't have had to do anything special with the white from the pink 4 to the 5. That was a chance for America to win right there. The only saving grace still that pink 4. There's no easy way to attack it, albeit save the combination shot 4 onto 8, which is very difficult. They've been so positive and so aggressive throughout this 1999 Mosconi Cup. I have to say, I am very surprised at that shot selection from young Michael Coltrain.
Well, Steve's looking at the attacking option here himself. He's looking at putting the 2 into the top left-hand bag and leaving either the combination, the pink 4 onto the black 8, or a possible safety afterwards. I think he's looking at lining up the combination.
Yes, the safety shot would be to play the 2 and try and leave the cue ball in that area, bank the pink off the right side cushion, or the top one as we look. Doesn't matter, this is tough.
Well, it looks like Steve actually can't see enough of the 2. He's raising his cue there, which would suggest he's just having to jump over the left-hand side of the... No, he's just raising his cue to draw the cue ball actually there. You can clearly see enough of the 2.
Real tense moments here for Team Europe. Good news, bad news here. You saw the good news, and now you're looking at the bad news.
Well, I think that was a very inventive shot from Steve there. He tried the bank into the top right-hand corner and got that, but wanted the cue ball to come down into the pink 4 and develop it.
I don't think so, John. I think that was a safety full-blooded. I think he didn't want that 2 to fall. He was shaking his head as soon as it dropped. And that was a little bit of misfortune, really, for Team Europe. And now they're going to need a little bit of good fortune here. Straight across the side cushion. I don't believe he can get through to the side of that pink looking directly at it.
No, it certainly doesn't look like there's enough room in behind.
And he's going to have to play this with pace.
Yeah, you're right there, Jim. He's going to be trusting to luck on this shot.
Well, crunch time has just arrived. I think this shot will either buy Europe another opportunity, or it could be the end of this match. Here we go. Start praying here, Steve. He's hit it. He's clipped it. And I'm not so sure he's left it.
Well, it's a difficult cut into the centre bag if Jeremy wants to take this one on.
Well, this has to be absolutely perfect if he takes this on. The only reason where he might, have another look at this, just feathers the pink 4. You can see it just turn over there. But if he does take it on and miss it, he won't leave it. Oh, that had to be absolutely perfect. And it was.
You have to say, Jim, this is a superb opportunity now for Jeremy Jones to finish this match.
Yes, Jeremy Jones. We've seen him miss but one ball in this entire match. Just wants to pull the cue ball back the right-hand side of the table now, Jonathan, and there's no more stumbling blocks here.
That's right, just crucial time in the match, so Jeremy just going back to his chair, wiped his cue down. Well, he's landed a little straighter than he would like on the 8, but should be no problems here.
I don't think there's any doubt in any of the Americans' minds that this one's over. This 9 to restore a 3-point lead. And the headline will be reading dire straits for Team Europe. And it'll be the captain, Steve Davis, next. And he will need a captain's innings next. Great effort that, though, from Team USA. Jeremy Jones and Michael Coltrain dismiss Mika Immonan, and Steve Knight. And you have to applaud the effort there from the Americans.